Hello, I'm Alan, and welcome to today's edition of Alan's Cycling Adventures. Today we leave Erie, PA for Buffalo, New York. That's right, it is state line crossing number 11. We will be entering our 12th state today. Well, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or ideas for future editions of Alan's Cycling Adventures, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Well, without further ado, let's ride. So today was another late start for me. Another day where I did not get a briefing because I was about 15 minutes late for the early group and 15 minutes late or early for the late group. So I opted to head out as soon as I was ready. Turned out to be fine. I had a nice ride. I got into Buffalo at a reasonable time, and so that part worked out. Tomorrow's actually a late start, so that's a good thing. The early group, instead of departing at 7, is departing at 8:15. So my plan is to wake up an hour later and have an extra 15 minutes to eat breakfast and get ready and get downstairs. So we'll see how that works. I think it'll work fine. Since we're going to be getting to the state line crossing fairly soon, I'll continue on with some thoughts about today's ride, one of which was the second SAG stop we had. We stopped at an ice cream place called Nick Charlap's Ice Cream. I'm not positive anymore what town it was in, but while I was waiting in line for my ice cream, and by the way, I initially was not going to get ice cream, and then I thought about it, and then some of the people in the group were raving about how good the ice cream was, particularly the peanut butter royal flavor. So since I love peanut butter, I decided to get a small peanut butter royal. I'm glad I did. While I was waiting in line, there was a couple behind me, and we were talking, and they mentioned that Nick Charlap's ice cream has been voted several times the best ice cream in Western New York. I haven't been able to confirm that information, but Nick Charlap's seems to get consistently great reviews. Anyway, here comes the state line crossing. So it's actually a good thing that I stopped for a gel when I did, because, well, first of all, I don't know if you can see it, but that is Lake Erie just past that house. But just up ahead, just past the 20-mile mark on this ride, is the Welcome to New York sign. So we are about to make our 11th state line crossing into our 12th state. And I will stop at the sign, even though it's about 100 yards up, if that. The last couple of state line crossings, I've had long videos. This one will be a short one, because just up ahead is the sign that says, "Welcome to New York, the Empire State." Beautiful vineyards to my right and sometimes to the left. The lake off to the left in the distance. The Great Lakes Seaway Trail is the road we are on. We're approaching the town of Ripley, New York, and there's the sign. Welcome to New York. Woohoo! Let's see, we've got how many state line crossings to go. We'll be crossing from New York into Vermont, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. So only 3 more state line crossings to go. And the day after we cross into Massachusetts is that last 19 miles to the beach. By the way, in that state line crossing segment, I mentioned Lake Erie off in the distance. As we got further along, we actually got closer to the lake at some parts, and the lake was not so off in the distance. It was right there, which was pretty cool. Anyway, as you know, we rode today from Erie, PA to Buffalo, New York. I departed at 7:18 a.m. The weather was partly cloudy, 66 degrees Fahrenheit, with a feels-like temperature of 67 degrees Fahrenheit. So one of the warmer mornings we've had. The humidity was 87%, and the wind was 2.6 miles per hour from the southwest. The wind didn't really pick up that much. It was nice. It was a nice light breeze, but it was entirely a tailwind. So from a wind perspective, it was definitely a good day. The ride length was 90.98 miles, and I had an average moving speed today of 16.5 miles per hour with a maximum speed of 34.2 miles per hour. My total moving time was 5 hours, 30 minutes, and 12 seconds, within a lapse time of 7 hours, 21 minutes, and 13 seconds. My average heart rate was 118 beats per minute, and my max heart rate was 138 beats per minute. Interestingly enough, I was comparing notes at dinner with a couple of people regarding average heart rate and max heart rate and heart rate ranges and stuff like that. And I'm not the only one, apparently, who is experiencing significantly lower heart rates than what I was experiencing while training for this ride. The consensus opinion seemed to be that it's because we're getting stronger and more fit. I actually have a physical coming up not long after I get back, and so I will certainly mention that to my doctor and see what he says. But in past physicals, he's always complimented me on my perfect EKG. So I look forward to my EKG for this physical. Should be fun. I burned a total of 1,786 calories according to Garmin and Strava. Believe it if you want. My average cadence was 66 RPM, and my max cadence was 101 RPM. In terms of elevation gained on this ride, according to Ride with GPS, we were supposed to encounter 2,657 feet of elevation. Both Garmin and Strava came up with significantly less. Garmin came up with 2,382 feet, according to its barometric data, and Strava called it 2,204 feet, according to its map data. According to my cadence sensor, I had 20,176 pedal strokes, and according to Strava, I had an average power output of 116 watts. The route today was mostly along Route 5, which is a bicycle route. For the most part, it was pretty good. There were some areas where the shoulder left a little to be desired. There were areas where the shoulder was beautiful. So, pretty much par for the course. In terms of where we rode, we started in Erie, Pennsylvania, rode into Lawrence Park, and then a town in Pennsylvania called Northeast. Ironically, it's in northwestern Pennsylvania, but they call it Northeast. We then crossed the Pennsylvania-New York state line into Ripley, New York, followed by Forsyth, Westfield. By the way, those of you who know where I live know that Westfield is the next town over. That's Westfield, New Jersey, of course. But it was kind of cool to see entering Westfield. My first thought was, oh, cool, I should stop off at home and have a snack or something. We then rode into an area along the lake called Barcelona, which is part of Westfield. I guess that's in keeping with the international flavor of this trip. We have certainly come across some interesting town names. By the way, as a side note, I saw a gas station in Barcelona and decided to stop to use the restroom. As I parked my bike, I saw a sign that said restrooms alongside next to air pump. So I walked around the side of the building and there were 2 porta potties. I go into the first one and I have to say it was the worst bathroom stop of the entire trip. It was the most disgusting porta potty I have ever seen. It looked like it had not been serviced in months. I'm not going to go into further detail than that, but as I was coming out of the porta potty, and I was thinking, there's 2 of them. Maybe most people go to the first one. Maybe that's why it was so disgusting. One of the other people in our group pulled up, and as I was coming out of one, he was going into the other one, and as soon as he went in, he immediately exclaimed, "Oh my God, this is disgusting." So, although I didn't see the second one, I don't think it was any better than the first. After he came out, he went into the gas station to buy something to drink. And I saw a few of the women in our group ride past. And all I could think to myself was, keep riding, girls. Keep riding. Don't stop here for the bathroom break. You will not like it at all. Anyway, yes, the gas station in Barcelona with the 2 porta potties. You guys need to service those porta potties. They're disgusting. And it wasn't even close. That was by far the worst bathroom break of the entire trip. We then rode into West Portland, and then Portland, Brockton, and then Lake Erie State Park was where we had our first SAG stop. Then Van Buren Bay, Dunkirk, Silver Creek. I think that may have been the town where the second SAG stop was. I'm not positive. We rode into Irving. We then rode through the Seneca Nation area, and then Farnham, Lake Erie Beach, Angola on the Lake, Derby, Lakeview, Pinehurst, Wanaka, Mount Vernon, Scranton, Big Tree, Blasdell, Lackawanna, the sketchiest area of the tour so far, and finally into Buffalo. We did stop, Jeff and I stopped at a gas station in Lackawanna. It was horrible. Anyway, that's all there's time for, and so I'll see you tomorrow. All right, we did it. This is Jeff, by the way. I've mentioned him in a couple of videos. We stopped along the way for some food and chocolate milk.
And did not get our bike stolen.
I did not get our bike stolen. It was a pretty sketchy area. But anyway, we made it here safely. We are in Buffalo. And so until next time, stay safe out there.